Hey everyone, it's Richard Middlefan here, bringing you guys an old school album review, and today we're going to be looking into this album's 20th anniversary, and it's from, well, one of my favorite bands, and one of the best bands in black metal, and I really don't really go into detail with this band, and as you can see below the title, we're going to be talking about Diabolus Interium by Dark Funeral. Well, this was the band's third full-length album, I believe, released on September 24th, 2001. Now, I don't really need to say much about Dark Funeral. I'm pretty sure a lot of you have heard of them. Black metal band from Sweden. Been around since the early to mid '90s. And I feel like for me, like Dark Funeral is one of those best, one of my personal favorites from the genre. While a lot of the black metal bands come from Norway, I think Sweden has a good scene, and I think Dark Funeral is like one of my favorites. And this, of course, follows up their previous album, which came out, I believe, in '98, called Vulbiscum Satanis. And I thought that was pretty good. But three years later, we get the release of their next album, which we got, Diabolus Interim. And this album, like, I feel like for me, Dark Funeral always including with their most recent album that came out in 2016, where Shadows Forever Reign. I feel like Dark Funeral, has always have like a formula. Like same thing with black metal, they always have like the formula, fast like tremolo guitar picks, blast beats. But I know there's some bands that would also experiment a bit. I know there's always the truly just is like, yeah, we want the same old shit. Yeah. So let's just dive right into this. Here we have the lineup on this album. We got the singer Emperor Magnus Kaliuga. Yeah, and I think he's a really great singer, or one of the best singers in there. Nothing against Helmidjar. I'm not gonna butcher his name, but Helmidjar. I probably fucked it up. But I just think they always have like great singers. But I think Emperor does a really great job on here. The guitar work on this album is tight. Lord Armon always is the riff master. He always comes up with some really sick riffs. And same thing with Dominion, who was also on this album. He just does a fucking great job on the drums. It's the bass. I don't think they have really a bassist on this album. If I'm not mistaken, I think Lord Armon tracked the bass. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the bass I kind of wish was a little bit audible. And the drumming from Matt Modin is pretty superb. So without further ado, and I probably rambled on for about 3 minutes now, let's just dive into this album track by track. Now, starting things off is The Arrival of Satan's Empire. Now, it pretty much starts off with typical Dark Funeral, which just goes into just destruction, only even faster and more hateful. And the riffs are faster, and it's really well constructed, showcasing like the more of a mature songwriting, sort of like Kaliuga screams his lungs more just powerful on here, and he also does like a little bit of like deep growls here and there, switching between these two styles was flawlessly, and I think it's a really strong way to kick off this album. Then we move on to the next song, which is called Hail Murder. Now, Hail Murder underlines sort of like the band's like creativeness more effectively. Yeah, it's a pretty long song by Dark Funeral standards, which is pretty much a little over 5 minutes. It has like great riffs with some really smooth key changes, all with like a slow, just pounding chorus. Next up, we get to Dark Goddess of Sodomy. Now, this song isn't as strong as musically, but it's kind of interesting compared to like the previous two songs. Goddess of Sodomy is pretty slow. Oh, and it's it's weird, a slow song in a Dark Funeral album. And it's like the first in its foray, and it kind of gets repetitive in a while, but not short enough. But the lyrics are pretty funny. It's like, with every single hole in you is mine. I hear you groan, you want me inside, or even like, I control your desire with my godlike white salted wine, which if it makes you want to just have like black metal, if that's a genre with like a guy and a girl with corpse paint just fucking, or if you just like some good music to make love to, or just fuck a chick. I don't know. It's just I just think it's a good song. Anyway, we're moving on to the title track, Diabolus Interim. It kind of like brings back sort of like the Dark Funeral oh, just like an amount of like great riffs and just some really sick playing skills. An Apprentice of Satan, which I feel like, in my opinion, is like a true Dark Funeral epic. In fact, the epic, it's like the longest song on here. It goes over 6 minutes, and this was previously appeared on their EP, Teach Children to Worship Satan, and this version has obviously been re-recorded, and I just think this version has a lot of attire performance from Caliuga. And it has like several tempo and riff changes, which makes it pretty entertaining to listen to, but it doesn't really show. But overall, I think this version is pretty good. Moving on to With Thus I Have Spoken. Now it sort of begins really slow and heavy, which turns into just a very supersonic riffing and really great rhythmic structure, shifting between different tempos and stuff. And I just think it really just showcases more mature songwriting, and the performers just shines here. Armageddon Has Come. Now this is the shortest song on here, pretty much clocking in at 3 minutes at 21 seconds. It's just a no frill, no bullshit, just jackhammering in here. And it has, I don't know, it's just a freaking fast song. And then we close things out with Heart of Ice, which is just a great symphony, which is very slow and very menacing, and it has some more fantastic riffs, and I just think they pretty much highlight it all with the final song on here. Now overall, Diabolus Interium by Dark Funeral, another sick addition to their discography. They definitely have like a little bit of like difference compared to like some of their previous albums, like Secret of Black Arts or Vulpus Satanis. So if I give this album a score, I'm going to give this a solid 9 out of 10. So yep, that's my review of the album, guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about it, and I'll see you all in the next video. And as always, keep it metal.